is amazing. This is amazing. Imagine taking a $600 Toyota RAV4 from the 90s and taking the 3S GTE turbo engine from the SW20 MR2 and also the GT4 all-wheel drive transmission from the Celica GT4 and realizing, wait a minute, this just all bolts up? And what we have is by far one of the coolest sleepers of all time. With a fully built motor using a Camry engine block, this RAV4 weighs under 3,000 pounds and makes 600 wheel horsepower. So what's it like driving this absolute absurd manual transmission crossover? Let's talk about it. Come drift into a different dimension at Caffeine Octane Linear Raceway for Cosmic Drift on October 26, 2024 with LED lights, visuals, lasers, music, and so much more. Drivers sign up and tickets are on sale now, and I really hope to see you there. All right, sir, introduce yourself.
I'm Ethan, and this is my 1997 RAV4 with a 5S GTE swap in it.
First of all, my number one question, why a RAV4?
I thought they were cool.
End of video.
All-wheel drive, 5-speed manual. It seemed like a real cool rig. I wanted one. When I got one, it was very slow. And yeah, now we're here. A little bit of research. The engine bay is very similar, if not the same, as like a Toyota Celica.
Sure.
You know, those guys were doing the 3S GTE swap, and that just kind of, it went from there.
Yeah, and so we met out in Iowa at Off the Line Performance, and I was working on a car with some friends at the shop with Grayson and everybody, and I hear a dyno pull, and I'm like, just another day at the shop. And I'm like, I want to go see what's in the dyno room, and it was this. And I was like, who is this person? I need to talk to them, and at the same time, I just want to watch this thing go in the dyno all day.
It's a 3S GTE.
Okay.
I built a turbo kit. I put a G25 on it, and that was the first time we're ever on the dyno. Our goal was somewhere around 300 horsepower, but it was just overheating. It would creep up to 230, 240 at the end of the pull, and we just had to cut it. We're like, this isn't gonna work. That's why we didn't connect and you didn't drive it then, but I think it was 2 weeks later, new radiator, drilled holes in the thermostat, and it made 300, so.
Now, on low boost, it makes 450, which is outrageous. But then you're like, well, you know, when it's turned up, it makes 600.
Yep.
What I love, though, is your kind of commitment to the factory interior. And I know you were playing with the idea of changing the seats out and stuff, because you detail the Dragon, and you're getting thrown around. But I think what's so cool about this is you kind of have to be a car guy to really spot this car, right? Because through the hood scoop, you see the turbo.
So it currently has a G30 770.
Okay, sweet. So it spools up pretty fast.
Spools up pretty good. By, you know, $4,000, you should be well into boost. But yeah, low boost, like you said, 450. High is 600, around 34 pounds of boost.
I look in the rearview mirror and I see a little duck just hanging on for the ride. It's like, that's an earned duck, unlike the Jeep community.
He's he's been along for every iteration of the build.
He's like, I can't, no duck left behind. This thing overall is in such laughably decent condition too for how old it is. I think that's what's so impressive too. It wasn't like, yeah, I found this shell and like whatever, I just threw this in here. It's actually a nice car.
Yeah, no, it's well put together. There's a little surface rust here and there. It's an Iowa native car, but I picked it up from a guy for $600 with a blown diff. And, you know, I just started trickling away on different things I wanted to do to get it back up to standard, but it didn't take long to say it needs more power.
How difficult was doing the transmission? And before I say that, or before you say that, it's the GT4 transmission.
Correct. From
the Celica GT4, which rightfully so, you have the GT4 badges on the back.
Yep. So it's the ST205 GT4 transmission. Just about every major component I bought off of eBay, so transmission included. It's just where you find them. As far as it bolting up, it bolted up. It is crazy. Every mount is exactly the same as the stock RAV4 mount. The engine bolts up, bolt pattern's good. Even the drive shaft slips right in.
Even the drive shaft.
Even the drive shaft.
Wow.
Easy. to say the least.
It's crazy, man.
And much better gear ratios. At 60 miles an hour in the stock RAV4 transmission, you're looking at 3,200, you know, but now it's really come down a lot.
Also, your clutch, the twin disc, actually catches very quickly.
Yep.
Like, it's not at the top of the range or anything, it just bites immediately. Yeah, buddy. Okay. First time passenger.
Yep.
That's
first
right.
time passenger.
Okay, so that's 450.
It's 450.
We got a smidge of a crab walk, a little bit.
A little bit. It goes pretty straight though.
This is so cool. Yeah, talk about use what you got. Like, on every level.
You can do your Google search and find the best platform, but if you've got something in your garage and, you know, there's ways to get around, you know, the downfalls of them, why not? And this is the definition of kind of why not, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Woo! Redline is 8,000 RPM. So when it comes to the motor itself, what's done to the motor?
So, fully built. It's got BC rods, Y-scope pistons, 10-to-1 compression, GSC valve train.
Okay.
And, yeah, other than that, you know, I did everything myself, apart from, of course, the machine work on the block. Yeah, no, it's been real solid. It is the Camry block with the Camry crankshaft.
Okay.
So it is a 2.2 liter now.
Okay.
So a little bit more. But other than that, it's pretty basic. The MR2 guys calls this the 5S GTE just because of the block change.
Okay, I was wondering how that works, because I was like, I don't think I've ever heard of that terminology. I'm learning something new today.
There you go.
That's the best though. It's like, I think the 3S GTE is such an overlooked four-cylinder in so many ways because, you know, everyone does the K-swaps and everything else. My first time experiencing a really fast 3S GTE was in an SW20, right? I drove 2 of those ATS belt ones, made over 700 horsepower, and they were crazy. And I was like, why don't people do this more often?
Right.
It's a very smooth engine. My God! It feels like you take the JZ and cut 2 cylinders off of it.
Which I think is kind of what they did.
Right. But that's kind of, even if it is or it isn't, that's the kind of way your body feels, right? All right, where's the sauce button?
Right there, you'll see.
Oh, it's on the.
Yeah. So you should have a light on your dash now saying it's good to go.
Okay, you ready?
Oh yeah.
All right. Woo! Yo. This thing gets, dude. Like, how light is this thing?
Google says about 2,800 pounds. Yeah.
No wonder it feels so freaking fast, dude.
Probably added a few poundage to it.
Oh,
but
come on.
Not much.
Who cares? Who cares, man? This thing is wild. Like, what I love about it is it does a little bit of the razzle dazzle, you know, up top, but it's controllable. It's not anything like, oh no, oh god, like when you're like in an open diff Civic or something. Like this thing puts it down, dude.
You got the anti-lag button on your left finger as well.
Oh, I stalled it. I admit it. Dude, this is amazing. This is amazing. What blow-off is on this?
It's your eBay special.
I thought so. Is it like yeah, it looks like one of those cheaper ones, but hey, it's working.
It works.
You got the nice turbos, you're like, you know. Have you had any failures with the blow-off valve, or is it pretty good?
That is the same one I've had for years now.
You're like, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I mean, you know, worst case, it doesn't open and you get cool sounds, right? I mean,
Like, I just love how your dash, I mean, Toyota's dashes, they knew what they were doing. Like, they don't crack. Like, if you go to Nissans or anything like that in the same era, they're just a nightmare. Also, what's it like to be in passenger seat?
Surprisingly not as bad as I thought.
Okay.
It feels very similar as driving, but you get to experience it rather than trying to, drive it.
All right, do I just hold this down?
Yeah, to about 14 PSI.
Woo! God dang, this thing's quick, dude. That's so freaking cool. I'm having such a good time. Ah, so you get more motor. Yeah, you get more turbo with the windows down, more motor in here.
Yep.
Woo! My man on the back with his propeller going. This is just such a unique experience. I think that's why I respect you so much for sticking with it, right? Yeah. It's not an easy project. It costs to be different. We all know this. But wow.
You don't see it every day.
No, but I think what really gets me going is that 8,000 RPM red line, because you're just like, I got more, and I got more, and I got more.
Keeps pulling.
Yeah, the second to third in this is money. Like, that is the one. You can literally gap people in this thing. This isn't some gimmicky car. Like, I think that's what's really unique about it, is that sure, people do cool swaps and they do cool transmissions and stuff, but a lot of the times it's to essentially pop the hood at a car show and go, look, I did this cool thing. This is the real deal. Like, God, like, you gotta be ready. When that turbo comes on second gear, you have to be mentally ready. It's got coilovers?
It's got coilovers.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm getting the brand, but they only make, I think they've only made 3 sets for RAV4s before. And
what do you mean they've only made 3 sets for RAV4s?
I know, you'd think it's a popular platform.
Wow.
Want more, but weirdly the chassis holds it pretty well, all things considered, for the lightness, and it's an SUV from the 90s.
What do you think is the most difficult part about this project so far? If there's one thing that kind of like sticks out in your brain, I know it all kind of blends together once you do something long enough, but is there something you're just like, God, that was annoying?
Building the turbo manifold.
Okay.
I just did that with an Amazon welder and a 2-car garage.
My man.
It's really tight in these engine bays. The engine's shoved close to the radiator, so there's not much room to put the turbo and all of your bananas, and then the 3-inch downpipe going back down through. So there's a few things touching, but it hasn't given me any grief yet. But that was probably the difficult project of this.
Also, would you like to inform the audience about your material for your exhaust?
It's food grade stainless. It was cheaper on eBay than exhaust stainless, which I think is the same stuff, but they market it differently and they hike up the price because,
I've done turbo CRVs, like Honda CRVs.
Yep.
This surprisingly feels, I don't know how to put it, it feels more like a tuner car. You know what I mean? Because it's so light. It's almost like we're driving a big hatchback.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I got my big turbo hatch.
Good way to put it, yeah.
Yeah, it's just bananas, dude. I can't even describe what this is like. Well, sir, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, not really. I'm glad you got to drive the car, experience it, and hopefully next time it makes more power.
Oh my God, you're crazy. Do you have any social media or anything you want to plug, or are you cool about it?
Not really. I keep a build list on Instagram, just RAV4 GT4, real simple. Just, what it took to put this thing together.
Well, sweet. Well, dude, pleasure, man. Thank you for making the trip.
Yep.
Unbelievable. Like, this is truly something special. It's so funny being in this seating position with so much visibility too.
Right.
Usually when you're in something this fast, you're with smaller windows, smaller everything. Just the vibe of this thing is so unique, and that's all I got to say about that. But on that note, typically upload on like Tuesday, Thursdays, or Sundays, or not. You'll see. But on that note, I'll see you guys next time. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.